The Fallout show was really good. I've been kind of disappointed with a lot of adaptations and newer projects from series that I've been into lately. Like, Rings of Power was a really big letdown. The Starfield game was such a letdown. Being like, somebody who really enjoys like Bethesda and Obsidian games. I didn't have very high expectations going into it, and I was pleasantly surprised. Um, I am I'm coming at the show from the perspective of somebody who enjoys like absolutely taking my time in like the Fallout games and other like RPGs and just really like, doing the side quest, exploring the areas, looking for like, hidden things like, behind looking for the treasure behind the waterfall, just really like taking the time doing like the extra dialogue with NPCs and just really like I don't know something I've always really enjoyed about like the 3D um Fallout games like 3 4 New Vegas 76 like I enjoy taking the time and exploring and enjoying like the environmental storytelling of it like because sometimes what's left behind tells just as much of a story as the people that inhabit the area like so I was absolutely thrilled with now as of recording I haven't completely finished the series. I've only watched the first couple of episodes, but like just my initial impression, I'm so happy with it. um I I really liked the writing of like Fallout New Vegas. Like it really feels the most like an RPG out of the Fallout games that I've played. And I really liked some of the gameplay of Fallout 4. And of course, like the original Fallout, which I admittedly had to go back and play because Fallout 3 was my first entry into the series. So I didn't play like 1 or 2 or Tactics like as they were originally released. I played them way after I played Fallout 3. So I was going back to it with like background knowledge of the series from having played future titles, so I didn't really get the initial shock that was probably um you know I imagine like going into the series blind and starting with the first one, it would be a lot more jarring. And I kind of feel like if you were just somebody who never played the games and you were coming into the show, like I feel like they handled that initial shock really well because a lot of people that that aren't familiar with it being a video game might be put off a little bit by the tone or like the gore, which I feel like completely nails it as far as like the atmosphere. The sort of like doomed world, but like little tongue-in-cheek kind of attitude about it. Now, like that's more of the tone that like Bethesda kind of put onto the series. Like it was a little more bleak and serious in some of the like Obsidian titles. I mean, there's obviously like a trade-off for how everything was handled in different games, and like some aspects are done really well and some I wish were different, but that um but but I really thought like, and it really feels like the people that worked on the show were fans of the game series. Like there was just the attention to detail, the environmental storytelling, even within the show, that really just drew me in and like made me feel like yeah, this is this is absolutely like the Fallout I know. And I was so happy with it. Like you the show starts out pre-war the way that Fallout 4 does. Like in Fallout 4, you start out as like either Nate or Nora, and you make your character, and you get to know like a little bit about your life, and before the game starts. And I thought it was nice that like it wasn't just a random slice of pre-war, that like they took the time to introduce like Cooper Howard's character. He shows back up later in the in the series, but like, you know, they established that like things weren't great for him like as the war was gearing up. Like, you know, he was like an actor that was kind of like down on his luck doing like children's birthday parties, and like I thought it was a really good choice to start out this series, like kind of like I liked that they showed pre-war for the sake of people who weren't familiar with the series, because like in the older games you're kind of thrown in and everything is what it is, and you can't really tell how much of stuff stylistically is like pre-war or not. Like, you know, a lot of it is in ruins and like you can use context clues. But I personally enjoyed being able to see like a tiny slice of pre-war in Fallout 4. Um, didn't care for the rest of the story, but like I liked that choice. So so seeing like Cooper Howard, like, you know, being a washed actor and entertaining like at a children's birthday party, and just the tension of like, you know, the adults, and to like a lesser extent some of the kids being aware of the impending situation and trying their best to just live a normal life. I thought that kind of humanized it a little, but it wasn't like patronizing. Like, you know, you didn't get to know um any of the characters. You didn't really feel bad. You just sort of understood like the tone. And I appreciated in in like the next scene where they're showing the vault, that they give you a really brief glimpse of what vault life was like, when introducing Lucy. I really liked the way that they handled the vault. It was so cool seeing like the kind of iconic like Vault-Tec stuff, especially since you rarely see it in pre-war condition. Like it was really well, it was post-war, but you know, it was fairly well maintained. You know, like you a lot of the vaults, you know, have already been opened before you get there in the games. So it was really cool seeing that. I liked the tone of the vaults. Like when you're introduced to the Lucy character, she seems a little maladjusted. You know, like she seems adjusted to a like a different situation, and I really liked that theme wise. You know, the way that like I haven't really gotten to Maximus yet, but the way that like Maximus was saved by the Brotherhood of Steel as a child, and kind of grew up idolizing them as a organization. And you know, Cooper Howard was already kind of bitter before he even became a ghoul, and Lucy McLean like doesn't really know anything outside of the vault, so she's like a very nice token kind of vault dweller mindset, you know, a real toe the line kind of girl. And it's kind of interesting to like watch how her arc is going to change as she ventures out into the world. Not too dissimilar from like Fallout 1, where, you know, you're kind of literally thrown in to the vault, then you're thrown into the wasteland, and you're trying to like understand the series as you go. Um, so I I feel like there was just enough like flavor and context for people that were unfamiliar with the series to kind of get the gist of what was going on, you know? Like um I bet it would be like slightly confusing, but I don't think you need to have like played the games to understand it and just appreciate it as a good show. Um I I really enjoyed the tone of the raider attack in the vault, because it felt just like the game. Like, you know, there was a lot of like dismemberment. I really liked how, the projector sort of looked fake to begin with, like earlier. You're never really forgetting that you're in an underground like city, in a way. Um, like there was always like the element of forced fakeness and like, kind of like 1950s propaganda, but like done with a like kind of a more artistic flair. It's something that I've always appreciated style-wise about the Fallout series. The what do you call it? Atomic tech, kind of thing, where you've got your Mr. Handies and your like atom powered cars and all of this technology that's sort of like lost to priorities of just surviving. Like I'm just always been a big dystopian fan, so I've always really liked the tone of the series, and I was very happy that they kept that for the show, that they didn't try to like clean it up at all. It just made it really enjoyable to watch. You know, I this is in this is in the first episode, so it's like obviously like spoilers for any of this, but um I didn't take issue with that there being a sex scene. Like I know that that's one point that people have kind of discussed a little bit. I honestly thought it kind of established her character being like you know very toe the line. Uh, you know, I- it starts out with her just listing her special attributes and saying like what skills she's leveled up in. She talks about like her athletics and her hygiene and that kind of thing. So I thought her saying like, okay, it's time to reproduce and keep the vault going. I just like it was more like to me it was more I just met this dude, but I have a job to do. Like I didn't feel like it was gratuitous at all. I thought that really was a good introduction to her character, like the idea that she's gonna do what she needs to do. And I can understand, especially with like the Halo show, or the romance arc shoved into The Hobbit. I can understand how people are a little a little like put off by things like that being put into into fiction that doesn't like have it. But I honestly just thought it was kind of establishing her character. It was like one of the first times you hear her say like her later becoming iconic, okie dokie, just all right, it's time, like it's time to bang this guy that I just met because he's my husband now. It's time to time to spoiler for different episode. Time to decapitate somebody because that's what I need to be doing right now to get things done. Just okie dokie. Like it's time to do this now. I just thought that kind of established our character, and I can understand how it could be off-putting to other people, but I didn't mind it at all. Um, I I really liked seeing a lot of the um I liked seeing a lot of the vaults just um being used, being like pre-war. It was really cool. I liked how how like kind of bloody the the raid ended up being. Like I liked kind of the dismemberment and the splattering and how combat when they were in combat it sort of slowed down like it was in vats. I thought that was like a really nice cinematic touch. And I think my favorite part of it is as soon as the last of the raiders leave, they just clean everybody up, process the bodies and, waste not, want not. and try to get back to their idea of normalcy like this never happened. And I feel like this wasn't the first time that this has happened with the vault. It was a good foreshadowing. I don't know if that's going to be the case yet or not, but that's what it felt like. And I just really appreciated that. Um, and then um, and then we're introduced to Maximus, and he's like going through like Brotherhood of Steel training, and I I really liked that he's at least initially he's a character that that was saved by them as a child, grew up with their ideals and their principles, and sort of like idolizing becoming a member of them one day, like you know like um the character was excited to see power armor up close. Um he understood like its power in the world. Nothing was lost on the characters. And I thought that that was like a really nice touch. And I appreciated that everything was kind of slowly introduced for the sake of people who might be new to the series. I thought it was done really well. And I don't want to get too too deep into any specifics of any particular episodes. I'm probably going to do that separately. I'm not sure yet, but I just overall, especially like, initial impressions, I am so happy with the series and really, really glad that the tone and the charm and the doomed but not like doomed but not just laying around being victims, like kind of like you know I just really enjoyed so much about about the show. I just feel like it was handled so well, and I look forward to seeing the rest of it. And I look forward even more to seeing season two. And it has already made me jump back into the games. I'm excited for like playing back through some of my favorites, and I'm just completely happy with it. Take care.